And we are back.
We are back, bumble bitches.
We are not doing a live recording today.
I feel kind of awkward right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We will be doing a live recording after this.
We will be.
But currently all of our Patreon community is watching the live. Hopefully they're watching the live. Hopefully you're supporting us on YouTube. The premiere.
Not the live.
The premiere.
Yeah.
Hopefully you're supporting us on YouTube currently watching the premiere of episode 40, I think. I think today's episode 40 on YouTube. Anyways.
I get paid to show up and be creative.
Yeah. Speaking of that was a really good segue. What are we talking about today?
Creativity.
That was good.
Thank you.
It was good. You're channeling your inner Brett Cooper.
That was
the way that she just goes right into her advertisements.
She does it so well.
Yeah.
She really does. I guess so, yeah. That was really in the moment.
It was very creative of you.
Thank you.
We're dumb. This conversation has come up because I had a conversation with somebody and she had a different conversation with somebody, and then we had conversations with each other, and it all just kind of panned out at the same time. And then something came up on a live stream where you were like something about creativity, and I was like, I'm feeling called to do that as well, and we should do that. And that was the last live that we did.
So that's almost a correct recanting of the.
Okay, so that is correct in my view of the way things happen. So you may view it differently.
No, the way that creativity came about for me is I have a quarter dedicated to creativity for my women's group.
When is that happening?
That is happening after this quarter.
So you dropped finances then?
Yeah, because I don't know how I feel about finances. Finances is kind of in limbo, so we're gonna have it at the end.
Okay.
Of this train. It's my caboose, and we might Snowpiercer this.
Yeah.
And wave bye-bye to the finances cart. It's not cart. What is that called?
Train. Car.
I just added T.
Yeah. You're being creative.
I thought about, I'm going to be totally honest with you guys. I thought about the car that houses all of the greens and the fruits and the vegetables. And I thought of a cart, like a grocery store. And that's why I called it a cart.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Word recognition, I guess.
I guess so.
So let's jump into this article. Read this.
Okay.
We're going to go down a rabbit hole because there's a lot here. This article is going to start from a business standpoint, and we're going to get to the relationship and children aspect of creativity by the time this is done. So
we'll get there, I promise.
Yeah. It's going to be debauchery, I'm sure.
Yes.
Our Friday episodes have been a lot of that.
I've been having fun.
Yeah.
I've been enjoying them.
That's all that matters.
I feel like we're going to get scolded.
I lied. Before we get into that, I have two things I want to talk about. Actually, You know what? We'll talk about one of them, and I'll save the other one for the actual podcast that we're going to record after this.
Okay.
Because that'll be episode 46, I think.
Okay.
What do you have first? Because I'm not going to forget mine. Did you already forget?
No, because I'm debating on whether or not I want to talk about it now or save it for the podcast. But I'm going to go ahead and talk about it now because I will probably forget. So
love the honesty there.
Yeah, definitely. Carrie and I just had an interaction over Lilo. And I'm so tickled by it because I feel really called out. I hope the weeds got picked up.
We're going to have to turn her camera and her mic ready to go when we go live.
Yes. But Lilo comes over here and she gets into my things. And I will let Lilo sit up here and cuddle with me. But bending over and picking her up and moving is a lot for me recently. My body has been falling apart. And right here on my hip, something's going on with that inguinal whatever. But I have to be very cautious with moving my hip or I am going to be out of commission. Oh my God. I moved on the couch the other night and it did what my ankle did and I couldn't move. And I'm surprised you didn't hear me going, what the fuck? I'm like fish moving on the couch, trying to get this muscle to go back where it needed to go. Yeah, I'm falling apart. But Lilo jumped down. I'm crying. I'm a mess. But Lilo jumped down. And I was like, that's it, Lilo. I'm not picking you back up. And Carrie started laughing and she was like, in an hour, she'll be back up there. And I started laughing because I was like, that's probably something I would do.
It's true.
And I was like, wait a minute. And I looked at Karen and I was like, have I done that? And she was like, yes, very aggressively.
Here she comes. She knows you're talking about her. Come here, little sausage roll.
And,
where's your friend at?
yep, she was right. Yeah. You can see the mom in me in that statement. Like she said yes really aggressively, and I was like, oh man, I'm a mom. Because I enjoy the cuddling.
Yeah.
And Ivy's not here.
It has nothing to do with Ivy. Fucking stop that. Ivy's getting fixed today. You act like Ivy hasn't been here sitting next to you on her little fucking bed for the last 12 episodes or 15 episodes. Just trying to fucking make excuses over there. And that's going to segue into my conversation, this whole excuses shit.
I can't breathe. It feels like it's been that, like the beginning of the Titanic where she's like, it's been 83 years.
It's been 3 hours,
That's
babe.
how it feels. I miss her so much. Oh. Okay, segue into your conversation. I'm done.
I don't even know really how that was going to segue. I just... we
excuses.
Yeah, we had a comment come through. We actually have these comments come through quite a bit. Are you going to actually drink that, or is it just sitting there as for like refills? Because milk being out in room temperature is not good for us.
You know what? It is for.
What are you laughing at? What is going on with you?
I can't breathe. I'm baked and I'm in a really good mood today. Oh my God. It is for refills like champagne. For my cup. And I didn't think about the fact
Give me that before you spill it.
that it's dairy. I'm sobbing. I just wanted my instant chocolate milk when I wanted it.
You also need to polish this guy off today.
I know. That's why I had it out, to be able to power through. Oh, man.
We have gotten an influx of comments where people have it's always been that it must be nice.
Yeah. Oh,
Right?
my gosh.
Yeah, right? Like that's something that we've gotten a lot of. I'm seeing a trend now in comments on TikTok that are saying, I wish. And somebody left me a comment this morning on one of the videos that I posted that was like, I wish that I had a woman like Peaches, or I wish I was a woman like Peaches, but even at this point, I think it would be too late to save my marriage.
Wow.
And like,
Wow.
I dwelled on it since like 6:30 this morning when I read the comment or whatever, whenever I read the comment. It wasn't 6:30, that's a lie. It was probably like 8. But anyways, and cut that little snippet out. I've been dwelling on that since I read the comment this morning. And this whole I wish mentality is something that will never get you to any like real sustenance in your life. What are you doing? It's just take a drink of it. Why are you making it weird? Don't spit. That's not ladylike. Put it back in the cup if you have to.
My nose is clogged. I couldn't breathe. But I didn't want to spit it out on camera.
What the fuck? Oh shit. Oh, Carrie's gonna die.
I'm dying. Oh my God.
Come here.
Oh, I'm good. So what happened was I had a ball of phlegm in my throat. Not in my throat, but like in my bronchial. I could feel it. I had a cough.
Yeah.
And that prevented the chocolate milk from going into my lungs as I inhaled it. And that was the sound of all of it coming up. That Being alive is fucking disgusting.
I don't like dog licks.
Oh my
so I'm gonna
God.
just slowly roll with that shit.
I was trying to drink my chocolate milk. How did I make it weird?
I looked over and you were just slow drinking your chocolate milk.
I was not slow drinking.
Yes,
I
you
was
were.
chugging it. It's half empty. That means I've perfected being a lady so much that I can sit there and just Kirby inhale chocolate milk in front of you and you think I'm just being dainty and slow drinking it. Oh,
Apparently breathing is now difficult for you as well.
Oh man.
That's funny. I heard you go as you were trying to catch your breath just now.
I know, and I'm disgusted with myself. I hate doing it and I can feel it. Oh God. Excuse me, guys.
What was that, Lilo? You definitely
Being
need to
alive
stay
is
out
so
of that
hard
box.
for me. I hate this. I hate phlegm. Oh God, okay. I feel like I got hit by a bus, guys. Do I look like I got hit by a bus?
No, you look like you've had a lot of laughter today.
Oh man. The chocolate milk is a lot in my tummy right now. Oh, okay. Do you remember what you were saying?
I don't.
I hate that you paused and looked at me while I was drinking
Yeah,
chocolate
it was
milk.
funny. We were talking about the comment that said that I wish that I was more like Peaches.
Yes.
And we've been getting a lot of the I wish comments. And,
Oh my
and like the
This
dwelling.
didn't just happen, guys.
No, it's not just a one-time thing. It happens a lot. This I wish mentality is nothing more than some Aladdin bullshit. Like you wish
No.
you could find a genie to fucking grant you things that you're not going to be able to hold on to.
I
Because you
meant-
didn't do the work.
right.
I wish I could have a six-pack. You can have a six-pack. You got to do the fucking work. If I had a six-pack right now, it wouldn't be there in 7 months, 8 months,
Yeah.
10 months.
We have a
Because
cycle of eating.
right. Because I fucking didn't do the work to get the abs to cherish and hold, you know what I mean? Like,
It was a show off for like
right.
2 or 3 days.
Yeah, right. You can put your best foot forward to meet that person and fucking
Yeah.
get them to be like, gotcha, bitch, tricked you. Because this is not who I am. This is not, this is
Right.
me putting on a fucking show, hoping that I can land somebody to fill a void in my life. Instead of going, okay, I'm a fucking mess. I am the one responsible for all of my fucking outcomes in life. And I'm not happy with where I am. Therefore, I have to be the one to fucking change things.
Right.
And wishing for things to change isn't going to fucking make things magically better. So you can stay exactly where you are and live the exact fucking life that you've been living this entire fucking time, or you can change. Do the work, start fucking getting better, and stop with this I wish bullshit. You can have the fucking life you dream of if you do the fucking work.
Right.
Sometimes that means shadow work. Sometimes it fucking means therapy. Sometimes it means packing up, moving across the country, and forgetting everyone that you've ever fucking met and starting over with a new life. Mm-hmm. I can see you taking a picture on the back of that thing.
Yeah, she was looking at me, but she's not looking at me anymore.
She's like a loaf of bread with ears
She is.
when she lays down.
But she was looking at me, and the way she was looking at me looked like she was absolutely toasted.
Yep. If she is like a loaf of bread, that means that the head and the ass is the slut. The piece of bread
That's
that everybody
so
fingers
funny
and
to
nobody
me.
wants.
Oh my God. The first time he said that to me, I was aghast.
You were like, what the fuck did you just say?
It's the butt of the bread.
The heel. I believe it's called the heel.
I don't believe that. I can't believe that we as a nation would call it a heel.
Could be wrong.
Disappointing.
What do you call it? Leave it in the
I
chat
bel-
so we know what you call it.
I
Is it
believe
the
you.
slut, the butt, or the heel? And if it's any of those things, are you now going to refer to it as the slut? Leave that in the comment. You guys are just typing away.
Yeah.
I'm done with my
Okay.
my wish rant.
Well, I'm gonna jump onto your wish rant because I didn't just happen.
Real quick. You see the little white sliver in her hair?
Yeah, she has that alfalfa of
She's
old.
turning into me
Yeah.
with that white shit. Somebody fucking said I bleached my beard in a TikTok comment.
I know you told me that the other day and I was offended.
I was like, you fucking bitch.
Right.
How dare you?
All of the stress you went through.
Okay, I'm sorry. What were you going to say?
The peach didn't just happen. I have a mental breakdown every day, guys.
You do have them quite often. It's okay, though, because you grow from them.
Right, and they're controlled. I'm not being destructive and telling my husband that he's worthless. I just have bad days. and I cry a lot. What?
We were both having growth moments in those things. You know why?
Why?
Because I just almost made the I just almost made the joke, you don't have to tell me I'm worthless, I know. And then I stopped myself and I was like, she gonna make me rephrase myself if I say this shit out loud, so I'm just not gonna say it. And then you kept talking, I'm like, this is a great opportunity to still say it. To be like, it's a joke, but I'm healing growth, right?
Yeah.
You have boogies up there with your nose ghost?
I do. And tomorrow's officially October 1st.
Yep. It'll be this will drop at the very end of October. This actually might even be a Halloween, close to Halloween episode. Let's see.
Oh no, I wanted to dress up for Halloween.
Well, you still can. This episode will drop on the 25th. This will be the second to the last episode. The episode that we record next. Nope, I lied. I'm right on this one being the 25th of October. The other episodes are way past. We're into November on the other episodes.
Dope.
Okay, let's jump into... We wasted 20 minutes bullshitting. And it'll probably cut down way more than that because there's a whole lot of stupidity that happened. Did you see the TikToks where people trying to drink out of those straws? Or out of the toilet paper holders? Have you seen that?
What?
Yeah, where people were doing the TikTok trend where they were trying to drink water out of one of those like it was a straw. And they always choke. Like, you can't do that because you're inhaling water at that point.
It's not sanitized.
Well, right. Well, that was where I was going. I'm willing to bet that most of them didn't just go and pull a fresh roll of toilet paper and pull the cardboard out.
They used the one from their bathroom.
I'm willing to bet that most people were just like, oh, I got one of these. I saw this on TikTok. I could do it. And then they wonder why their breath smells like shit.
Do you want to get E. coli? Because that's how you get E.
It's a poop
coli.
joke.
Can you top off my chocolate milk, please?
Yeah. You're gonna be so gassy.
My tummy's gonna hurt. You know what would go great with this chocolate milk? Let's see how well you know me, babe. What would I eat with this chocolate milk?
With chocolate milk?
Yeah.
I was gonna say Oreos with the milk comment, but I don't know if you could do chocolate with Oreos.
I don't like Oreos with chocolate milk.
What would
It is another dairy product.
What would you eat? Cheese.
Yeah, the finely shredded Colby Jack cheese.
Yep.
Yep.
All right, let's jump into this. We really have...
Okay.
Stupidity.
Continuing on. Let's go. So this is titled The Importance of Creativity in Business. Why is creativity in business important? Creativity is by no means merely incidental to business success. On the contrary, creative thinking can have a direct impact on the bottom line. Creativity helps individuals develop new, innovative ideas while also challenging old, outdated ones. In other words, creativity is important for moving businesses beyond conventional wisdom, allowing them to develop fresh, inventive alternatives. This out-of-the-box thinking can help businesses differentiate themselves from the competition or simply find new ways to address customer demands.
Yeah, let's pause right there. So, because this entire episode is about creativity. Mm-hmm. Can you read that last sentence one more time before you inhale your chocolate milk?
Additionally, creativity helps businesses I scrolled. The out-of-the-box thinking can help businesses differentiate themselves from the competition or simply find new ways to address customer demands.
Okay. To be creative, to find new ways. That's where I wanted to go with this. So that situation is, if you always do what you've always done, you'll always get what you've always got. If you are somebody who has simply learned your job as a process, I come in, I do this, I do this, I do this, I do this, I leave. And you don't understand why you do those things.
Right.
You can never...
Obscure?
No, the word is gone. Anyways,
Okay.
You are never going to understand how you can break the rules. Okay, here we go. Perfect example. In photography, I tell everybody that asks me what camera they should buy or what gear they should get, I always say, well, you need to learn the exposure triangle first. Because I can take a point and shoot. I can take a fucking Polaroid and take better pictures than somebody that doesn't know how to use their camera. Mm-hmm. So if you understand the exposure triangle, you can learn to use your camera and you can take good pictures. Doesn't matter what fucking camera you buy. Doesn't matter if you're working on cheap glass. None of that matters if you understand why. Once you understand why, you do those things and you understand the rules of thirds and all of the technical aspects, the rules, you can break those fucking things. And you can get super creative breaking rules because you understand the foundation of the photography. So if you're a plumber or you're a carpenter and you understand the basics of your job and the technical aspects, you can get very creative with the things that you do because you understand load bearing and you understand pipe pressure and all of that shit. Like, so if you just go do your job because that's what you were told to do and you never take the time to actually learn the foundation of it and why you're doing those things, the creative aspect's not going to matter because you're not willing to fucking go beyond just that.
Right.
The creative mind comes in and goes, okay, I can fucking build you a really dope ass custom house versus a cookie cutter home, right? It comes in and goes, we're having an issue with 3 employees and a new business that just opened up. How do we fix the drop in sales? Well, we can do all the things that we've always done, or you can get creative with your processes and go and do those things. This is all going to lead into a very big discussion at the end of this, so just bear with us, guys.
Additionally, creativity helps businesses remain agile, quickly responding to changes in the marketplace or pivoting as technology and consumer preferences shift. Examples of creativity in business. Do you think of a secretary at a company being as a creative person? Do you think of a secretary at a company as being a creative person?
Okay, that's a bullshit question. That's a trick question. That's a whole fucking spiral there.
Right.
No, because she's a secretary. Their job is to answer the phones or greet people. So does that mean that the person that greets people is not an artist or not, somebody who's able to think on their feet? I guess the question that they're probably, and they may elaborate on this, but the idea that you think of a job position as a creative job position is very different than asking if the person themselves are capable of creativity. And this doesn't speak on art. It literally, if somebody wants to redesign their living room, that takes an artistic brain. It takes creative mind. If you have a really big problem and somebody comes up with an idea that's super fucking off the wall that their imagination came up, that's creative. So to say as a secretary, a secretary position is to answer the phones and greet people, right? That doesn't think to creativity. The person behind the job title
brings it.
Could, right? So that's a trick question. I think that everybody inside of a company should have not a say, because that would be wrong. I think everybody inside of a company should have a voice. If you're problem solving because your business is failing, you should be asking everyone, where is our weaknesses? Because everyone there is going to have a different opinion as to what needs to change. And you don't change everything at once. You start on the things that are super important and then make notes of all the other small things and start trickling down to make everyone fucking have a better work environment. That is a trick question.
Okay. My response to that question is, when I walk into an office, I see like flower pins, right? Pins that have the little flower decoratives or whatever, hang in their posters, hanging in the back. There is personalization in the space that's happening. And that comes from creativity, right? The job itself, being a secretary, is not a creative job. The person who fills that position brings that creativity. Like you said, greeting people, answering the phones, all of those kinds of things. Leaving Post-it notes. To be the person who's known to leave a Post-it note as a reminder for whatever mundane task needs to be done and adds a smiley face. Susan always adds little smiley faces. I'm going to miss those smiley faces when she leaves. Yeah. Right?
We the flower pen thing, the person that has to pick those items out for the office absolutely does have a creative freedom there. I also want to point out that I think, how important do you think a receptionist job is?
Oh, massive.
To a company.
Massive.
Why?
Because that is the base foundation of the company. The keeping track of financial paperwork, keeping track of clients.
Okay, you're now speaking on management roles on the receptionist, the person that I'm sorry, not the receptionist. Yeah, the receptionist, not the secretary, the receptionist.
Right. Doesn't the receptionist handle all the paperwork and whatnot?
Depends on the business, but keeping client management.
Okay, so you're talking about like the hospitality end of it. Massive.
Yeah.
You don't have a business if you don't have clients.
Right. They are your front line of defense.
Right.
So anybody that ever hires anybody to do a secretarial or even a phone, like that has to answer the phone, That is one of the most important jobs of your business. And if you have somebody in there that is not personable, that is not somebody that's good on their feet and hospitable, your business will fail over that.
Right.
Yeah. I think that receptionists, people in that position, should make more money than they do. I don't think that should be a meaningless
Entry level.
Right. I don't believe that. I truly don't. I also don't think that depending on the job, that servers, waitresses, hostesses should be on a lower end of that either.
Yeah.
Because the interactions that you get when you go to a place is going to dictate whether you come back. The food could be mediocre and the service could be impeccable.
Right.
And you're going back there because the service was good. Yeah. Okay.
All right, continuing on. Thinking of a creative person as only being a bohemian artist can overshadow the reality of a creative person being a logical inventor. Consider the scenario. I'm going to say Betty was working as a secretary in the 50s. She started to experiment with using a small paintbrush and white tempera paint to correct typing errors. I said tempura, right?
I don't know.
Tempera?
I was
Tempera?
I was really hung up. My brain was like, she's over having to retype shit.
Yeah,
So
she
she's
was.
creating the solution to her
Yeah.
problem. That's the creative mind that we're going to get into. But that all that stems from imagination.
It does.
Okay.
So she would do that, and then the paint would flake off the paper, and it would reveal the errors. So Betty continued to experiment with different formulas in her home kitchen, and she eventually created liquid paper.
That's crazy, right?
That's insane.
And that also speaks on if you want to have a successful business, fix a problem.
Right.
Fill a need that needs to be filled.
And learn from your failures.
Well, and that speaks to not quitting.
Right.
That also speaks to parenting. We'll get into that too. This whole thing is probably going to go into a very big parenting conversation at the end.
Betty's invention evolved into a major company, which she went on to sell for $47.5 million in 1979.
I wonder how much that's worth now. What the difference would be in money.
Oh, I bet it would be like in the hundreds.
Almost $50 million. That's crazy.
Yeah. Countless people have been using typewriters and paper since the 1800s.
Hold on. What year was that? 1973?
1979.
Okay, so that's generational wealth at that time frame.
Right.
You remember being a kid and like hearing of a millionaire. Millionaire then was like, you fucking made it. Like you never
Right.
have to work again. Life is crazy. You're a rock star now. $1 million now. You get a house and a car and you're broke.
Yeah.
It's crazy to think about like how much that's changed in the 45 years since she fucking sold her business. Anyways, hope she invested her money because that 50 million is not worth 50 million anymore.
Can you top off my chocolate milk, please?
I'm starting to be a little concerned. Why? Because we have a whole nother episode. You're going to be peeing so much, babe.
Okay, I'll hold off. Let's save it for the next episode.
I'm going to fill it anyways.
Yeah?
You just keep reading.
Okay, thank
I'm
you.
going to enable your bad decisions as we're drinking sugary milk.
Yeah, I mean, and I need to drink it. It's gonna
You don't need to
expire.
drink it. We could pour it out.
I don't want to do that. I paid for that.
This is like your fourth glass.
Continuing on, everyone has creative skills. The difference with creative people is their nature and foster their creative is that they nurture and foster their creative abilities instead of blocking them. Creative people work to grow and improve their creative skills. They are more likely to experiment and take risks. Asking what if enables them to see around current assumptions and find potential for the future.
Okay, so that speaks on the children's ability to actually ask why and not be told because I fucking told you so.
Right.
Or because I said so. So that speaks to, okay, that's going to come in later too.
Okay. Okie dokie.
I really truly believe that creativity dies at the hands of the parents
Yeah.
and teachers and the school system. I believe that every young person that is given the free reins to go and do whatever they want to do will never have that imagination die. They will become fucking grown-up Willy Wonkas.
Yeah.
I don't like that you do that. Therefore, you have to stop doing it. Why? Because it annoys me. Well, there goes a little inner child dead.
Yeah.
Next. Right. That's what that is to me.
President Rutherford B. Hayes used a telephone for the first time in 1876, but could not imagine why anyone would want to use one. I get it, Hayes. I get it. I don't know why anyone would want to touch these things either.
You know that's the telephone. The modern telephone was the decline in connection.
Yeah.
It eliminated the need for families to gather around tables and have conversations to catch up on their days. And what would be normal family social interactions became, well, I'll call them next week.
Yeah.
We can now move further away from our families because we're still connected by a line that if we need to talk to them, we can. But the connection isn't there anymore.
Yeah.
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 And it's progressively gotten worse.
It has. Because phones are no longer just a form of communication. You can doom scroll.
They're also no longer connected to a wall.
Yeah.
So we have the
Take them everywhere.
Illusion that we are always connected to the people that we love through our phone. And now we've got supercomputers in our pockets and we still don't talk to our people. Instead of sending text messages or phone calls, we doom scroll. Or we scroll their social media just to see how they're doing. So
or post photos of ourselves.
Right. Well, everybody can see what we're doing in life. We'll just post it. Everybody's gonna look and read our shit. There's no connection there. They're connected, absolutely connected to their device, but not to the people in their lives.
Right. Continuing on.
Hold on. Why are you deep sighing over there, Carrie?
I'm just breathing.
Okay.
I can actually breathe through my nose.
All right. I wasn't sure if you had an opinion.
You fucking bragging over there?
That was such a deep fucking breath. I thought she's about to unload her. She's like over there fucking aggressively, vigorously writing notes.
All right, continuing on. Regardless, creative innovators of the past like Alexander Graham Bell and visionaries of today like Stephen Jobs.
You want to hear a fun quote about Stephen Jobs?
Yeah.
He said how did he word it? It was the most important thing he ever did was take psychedelics. That's a direct quote from Steve Jobs.
I believe
my important might be the wrong word, but that is essentially
it
what
has
he
significance to him.
meant. It was the most significant thing he had done in his life. If it wasn't for that, the iPhone wouldn't have been invented. All of the things that he invented after that wouldn't have been a thing.
Wow.
Yeah. A lot of the innovation that he had came from that. So
That's crazy.
There's a whole lot of information about that on the internet. And you should believe everything on the internet because it's totally true.
Yeah.
Just in case it's wrong. We're also on the internet, so we get to be true as well.
I lost where I was. I have to pee.
Told you.
I'm going to go do that real
This is
quick.
where it starts. You're going
to break the seal.
Tap the keg. Yeah.
So back into this email. Oh my God, talk about autopilot. Back into this article. We are now going to get into benefits of creativity in business. Creativity can benefit business organizations in more ways than one. Creative people are curious and willing to ask a wider range of questions, which improves business analysis.
Because they want to know they want to understand the whys.
Yeah, they probe. I do that, yeah.
You should be.
I mean, specifically, I do that in life, but
right.
Business-wise specifically,
do it in everything.
I was exhaling. We're fucking stupid.
You should do that in life no matter what. You probe everything.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're a sheep. If you're just get along to get along, you can absolutely get along, but you're not going to get better. Probe. Probe. Ask the questions.
Right.
Yep. That conversation was going to be a hard edit, Carrie. Good luck. You can leave that in. That way they see all that choppiness. They'll be like, what the fuck?
She did her best.
Yep, she did her best.
We're a mess.
All right. Let's go.
All right, continuing on. Creative people have the courage to express a unique idea or approach.
Because they're not afraid to fail.
Right.
Okay.
They also tend to encourage out-of-the-box thinking in their peers.
Because that creativity breeds creativity.
Right.
Yep. because that gives a environment of we're going to try some shit. And if it works, great. And if it doesn't work, we're going to try something else. When you have somebody who's a creative artist, those people who are artists will never shit on somebody for not being able to, well, unless there are people out there who are just fucking dicks. But for the most part, people who are creative artists will inspire others and boost them. You can do the shittiest thing on the planet, but you did it. I can't draw. Well, then don't draw. Sketch.
Right.
Do something. Create something. Put it on there. And then do it again. And then do it again. And do it again. You don't get good at painting by doing it once. You don't even understand how oil and fucking paint mixes if you only do it once. You don't understand that you can fucking water down your acrylics and get different tones. Like, you don't understand color theory. We're going to experiment with a whole bunch of shit. And if you're around people who are dope with experimenting and don't look at you as a failure because you didn't do it right the first time, which also speaks to parenting, that environment is a very different environment than everything has to be to the T perfect every single fucking time because that's what we expect of you. Well, in order for me to do it to a T, you have to teach me how to do that shit.
Through creative thinking, teams can see challenges as opportunities to problem solve and innovate. Creative skills help with visualizing ideas, understanding the needs of stakeholders, and creating designs that will become prototypes. Innovative problem-solving skills mean a person can work past the judgments and common sense of the time to generate unique ideas. A healthy creative culture gives businesses a competitive edge against competitors. A creative business brings out changes in society by creating jobs, introducing new products, and inventing new industries. And regular creative pursuits help team members develop higher levels of cognitive thinking, which can lead to improved logic and problem solving from day to day. This next part is, what is the right brain versus left brain myth?
This is something I was wanting to get into.
Okay.
He referred to this as myth.
Right.
And I'm sure that there's going to be a study out there that says that it's a myth, just like I can find a study out there that says that it's factual.
Right.
I have read studies that say that the left and right brain are different in terms of what they do. One actually handles depression and one handles optimism. And if you can change the way that your brain works and where you process information, it changes things. But the only thing that I have that proves that right brain is not a myth, right left brain thinking is not a myth, is that people who stutter don't stutter when they sing.
Okay.
That's creative brain thinking. So your logic brain has a stutter. Your creative brain does not. That's factual. And one of the books that I read that teaches people how to not stutter is they have to sing a song in their head, because once they start talking, they're activating that process. That's a factual thing.
Insane.
It's not a myth.
Wow. Okay, well, reading into the article.
Fuck this guy. No, I'm just kidding.
If you felt some hesitation to think of a company secretary as being a creative person, it may be due to the idea of separation, that logic and creativity don't belong together. The right brain versus left brain myth has been used for decades. Right-brained dominant thinkers were deemed to be more creative, intuitive, and spontaneous, while left-brained thinkers were considered more logical, mathematical, and structured. A closer look at theory. The two sides of the brain have specializations, but these skills are not divided into neat sections.
I agree. Okay, I'll agree with that.
Okay. Neither side of the brain determines someone's overall personality traits any more than being right-handed or left-handed determines it.
I agree with that as well.
Okay.
See, this is why it's important to probe.
Right. The right brain, left brain myth had a prior scientific basis in Nobel Prize winning research from Roger Wolcott Sperry in the 1960s. While trying to find a surgical way to treat epilepsy, Sperry discovered each side of the brain was specialized in certain tasks. His study went on to be misunderstood and linked to personality traits. Okay, so he is linking the right brain, left brain to personality.
Right, but that doesn't speak to creativity.
Right.
Okay. Okay, so how about this? Tell me if you think that this makes sense.
Okay.
As you drink your 15th cup of chocolate milk.
I am.
If right brain thinking is creative based thinking, that means that the person that has that creative based thinking is not afraid to fail. They're not afraid to experiment and try new things. we also know that there is an optimism there. So knowing that that is an optimistic side of the brain, do you think that that positive outlook would actually speak to a behavioral trait in the person? Because people who are optimistic are much more enjoyable to be around than pessimistic people. They're also not somebody who is going to shun somebody else for not getting things exactly the way that it needs to be. They're going to be the ones who are be like, it's okay that you tried, right? Like, you did your best.
Right.
Because they're an optimist. Like, this is what you can do right now. It's not that big of a deal. It's not fucking flawless. You drew this picture at 6 years old, and it's fucking 6-year-old drawing. Not a 66-year-old person who's had multiple mediums throughout their entire fucking life. So when you bring that 6-year-old you brings that picture to grandma, who's a fucking award-winning artist, who's got paintings all over the fucking world in museums, and like, look, grandma's like, you fucking suck, bitch.
Right.
Like, she cultivates that creative brain. Baby, it looks so fucking good. You did such a good job. What is this? That's the sun? Oh my God, that's amazing. I love your son. Let's try to figure out ways to show you something new, right? Like, we're going to sit down and draw together now. And now you're cultivating that creative mindset, and that creates an optimism. Whereas that grandma shitting on that little kid, not only does it plant the seed of I'm not good enough, it could kill the creative process altogether. I can't draw. Grandma said I suck at drawing. I'm not going to do this anymore, because they want the validation.
Want to be like grandma, and grandma told me I'm not like that.
Right. They want the validation of their grandparents or whoever it is in the scenarios that we're giving. That is something also that is, relative to the conversation, I guess. I lost my complete train of thought just now as I was
you're
speaking.
good. I want to.
It exploded. There's smoke coming out right now. No one survived. That was a whole ordeal.
Are people screaming, or is it just silence?
Silence. It's the sound of silence.
And it's the sound of silent. Dun, dun. Isn't that one of the songs, the remixes you've been listening to?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, it's nice.
I hate Simon and Garfunkel.
Yeah?
Yeah, their music's just not a thing for me. But when Disturbed redid it, it was really good to me.
Yeah.
And then when the techno version came out, I was like, whoa, I fuck with this. Yeah, it's on my playlist, like almost all of them at this point.
Something that I started doing with the children when they draw something or color something or whatever, and their art, seeing their art get better makes me emotional. I've started asking them, what don't you like about it?
Right.
Because you're coming to me for approval. I think it's beautiful, but what don't you like about it? And they'll find something, or maybe they'll find absolutely nothing. They think it's perfect, and then we hang it up on their wall. But they will find something they don't like, and our daughter doesn't like the way she does noses. And that was an opportunity for us to sit down and me to show her, you can do it this way. And she was like, oh my gosh, that's absolutely fantastic. I'm so excited to draw noses now. And I think that was a really good piggyback off the conversation you were just having.
Yeah. I have 3 things.
Okay.
One of them, I don't hate Simon and Garfunkel. That was a very negative thing to say.
Okay.
I do not enjoy their music. It's just not for me. It's too not my style.
Yeah.
So
good for them for making it.
People love their music.
Just not for me.
Right. It's just not my jam.
You know what? I appreciate that you clarified that.
Suicidal Tendencies is one of my favorite bands of all time. And one of their like sentences in a song, because he actually says it, he didn't sing it, is that just because you don't like something doesn't mean that it isn't any good.
Right.
It's from the song Gotta Kill Captain Stupid. And that is something that I have tried to live by. What are you laughing at?
Such a profound lyric from a song called what?
Gotta Kill Captain Stupid.
Yeah. Okay.
Right.
I mean,
So-
that definitely drives home. I just wasn't anticipating. But the band is called Suicidal Tendencies, so that makes sense. That should be on track.
It doesn't, though.
No?
I'm going to make a note, and at the end of this, we'll pull up those lyrics and we'll read those lyrics.
Okay, what doesn't?
The what the song is about.
Right.
When you read the lyrics of the song, it's not what you think it is based off the name.
Okay, can I tell you what I think it is based off the name?
Yep.
Okay, so tell me one more time.
Gotta Kill Captain Stupid.
Gotta Kill Captain Stupid. I feel like I would be calling my demons that.
Okay.
Like I'm chasing my demons and they're mimicking me, or like they're trying to be nasty to me. So I'm mocking them as I'm in this death battle trying to reclaim my own life for what it is. And I finally get to blow their brains out and call them Captain Stupid.
That went really specific. The second thing I wanted to touch on, so
Am
that
I
I don't
close?
forget, we'll read the lyrics.
Okay.
You don't have your septum ring in.
No, I don't.
So if we need to take a second so you can properly blow your nose instead of going every few seconds, we can take
it's
5.
not coming out.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
I lost the third thing.
Oh no.
What were we talking about?
Oh, me asking the children, what don't you
The
like
noses
about
thing. It was the noses thing.
Oh, okay.
I'm back. I have to be very careful how I word this.
Okay.
It's no secret that you and I shared a consciousness one day
Right.
because of we took a journey together.
On some.
Yes.
Okay.
That evening,
Yeah.
when I was still working through everything that happened in the day, when I closed my eyes, I was sketching noses in my brain. And I was able to reconstruct faces
Okay.
based off sketchy,
Yeah.
not like perfect drawn, like actual sketch.
Yeah.
So like this,
Kind of like take on me, right? Like that
that
sketchy.
sketchy style, yeah. So
Yeah.
like doing the bottom of the septum would come up and there'd be lines coming off of it, and then I would create the curve with straight lines.
Right.
And I reconstructed noses like that. And you saying that whole thing about noses made me think about that experience.
Yeah.
Completely random and irrelevant to anything that we're
No,
talking
but I
about
love
right
that.
now. But that comes from years of me sketching noses or tattooing them or drawing them and trying to understand anatomy. Our daughter at 5 years old doesn't fucking understand anatomy at all.
Right.
She has no idea what symmetry is. She has no idea how the human face is supposed to be, or even understand light and shadow. So for her to just draw a nose, like, she shouldn't be hung up on those things. She should, like you said, well, let me show you this. Now she has an understanding how to draw a nose. If she doesn't have a creative process or an understanding or wanting to improve, she's not going to understand that when you turn your head this way, the nose looks different. Right? So
Right.
like that comes to the fostering the creative mindset in the child. And that creativity has to happen throughout life, because if you don't improve that and you nourish that, you get factory workers.
Right.
You get the people that you see in videos that are like, and that's their job, right? Like, how is that? Where's the reward in that in life? There are people out there who need those fucking jobs. I'm not shitting on them, but I hope to God that they have some sort of creative outlet that is not just this that makes them feel fulfilled in life.
Right.
I'm done. Those were my 3 things.
But now I'm hung up on sweatshops.
Yeah.
What was said?
The nose drawing,
No.
creative crippling your children,
No.
creatively crippling your children. The 3 C's of life.
Oh my God. No, it wasn't that. But I just remembered what it was.
Dope.
Your smile.
What about it?
It makes me happy.
I'm glad that you were able to remember that. Did it take me smiling for
Oh
it to jar that
God.
thought?
No, because I was like, what was I so hung up on? I missed like half of everything you said because I was so focused on it.
I love that. So I shaved my face,
You did.
and my face thing doesn't work on my phone anymore.
I believe it. I got rid of my bangs and I had to redo my facial recognition. Current science shows there is no one dominant side of the brain controlling your personality, which makes sense.
Logically, that makes sense.
Right.
Right.
Dr. Robert H. Damn it fucking happened. Schmerling, faculty editor of Harvard Health Publishing, explained in a blog post. In fact, if you perform a CT scan, MRI scan, or even an autopsy on the brain of a mathematician and compared it to the brain of an artist, it's unlikely you'd find much difference. And if you did the same for 1,000 mathematicians and artists, it's unlikely that any clear pattern of difference in the brain structure would emerge.
Okay. So I also feel like that's a loaded statement. What are they doing when you're doing a CT scan or an MRI? Are they listening to music? Are they composing? Are they laying there thinking about drawing a picture? I don't dispute at all that right and left brain make up your personality as a whole, because you're a whole ass person. Your loves and your interest in the things that you're passionate about and the things that you despise and that makes you depressed, and the way that you fucking deal with your finances all encapsulate a person. You're not a label. I'm not
Right.
my borderline. You're not, she's not just gay. right? Like,
Yeah.
you have all of these things that make your life what you make your life. And to just say that you are one thing, I'm a mathematician. No, the fuck you're not. So of course that study shows that.
Yeah.
What are you doing during that moment that makes the brain light up to show what the brain is actually doing what it's supposed to be doing? It's a very different conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Don't like that.
This is going to wrap up with breaking barriers. Ideas from the right brain versus left brain mythology are still widely accepted. Many make assumptions about where creativity lies, that it's more likely to be found among people on a graphic design team than those in an accounting firm.
Well, yeah, because that's their job.
Right. Well, this is about business.
I get that. We talked about this just a little bit before we came on, and I was like, don't read any of it. I wanted, because I disagree with the right left brain myth that he stated. And until I read studies or until they actually present evidence that makes sense, that's cohesive versus just giving out a blip, that's no different than somebody taking somebody out of context. If you watch one of our clips on TikTok, I look like a misogynist dickhead. I'm not.
No, you're not.
But out of context, I can be.
Right.
So out of context, making statements about things like that without the full scope of the conversation, you can make your argument appear however you want to make your argument. This is where the creative mind comes into play. I know that those aren't accurate. There's more to that conversation. So it's frustrating, but I don't remember where I was going with that.
Continuing on, believing these myths can be counterproductive. It leads people to pigeonhole themselves by thinking they cannot do certain things because they lack natural skills.
Okay.
I disagree.
I do too. I don't disagree that people use a label or a explanation to short themselves in life.
Oh, 100%. I agree with that.
Because it's a lot easier to go, I wish, versus I'm going to do the work, right? And that was the conversation we had at the beginning of this. Speaking of which, I would like you to clip that today. That gives people, how do I word this? That gives people permission to make excuses for their lives. Because everybody else does it.
Right.
I can't have a successful relationship. I have borderline. No, you have a label. You now know what's wrong with your brain. You know the way that you process emotions is to an extreme. Love, hate, the whole nine. So you're not saying that you can't have a successful relationship because you have borderline. What you're saying is you can't have a successful relationship because you refuse to do dialectic behavioral therapy or cognitive behavioral therapy, or you have not found a therapist that you relate to enough, or you have not found the audiobooks or the physical books or even free YouTube videos to help you process the way that your brain deals with shit. So what you're saying is you're too lazy to do the fucking work, even though that you know what's wrong with you, and that's why you can't have the relationship you want to have. It has nothing to do with your fucking borderline. That's the real conversation.
Yeah.
So your therapist going, you have BPD, and you going, okay, well, that's why all my relationships failed. Great, thanks, have a great day, and go about your life. You're never going to have a successful relationship because you've been given permission to use your borderline as a fucking excuse as to why you can't have those things. They use the term pigeonhole in that article.
Would you mind?
Where did this cup come from?
It's Carrie's.
I like it.
I like it too. Amazon.
So, pro tip for those of you who fly, it's a metal cup. Two things that you should always take with you on your carry-on luggage. A carabiner that is big enough to fit around your hand because it is rock climbing gear. Don't buy a cheap one off Amazon. Go to like REI or wherever you shop and find a carabiner that fits over your hand, because in the event that you need it, you have a weapon. If you have to punch somebody, if somebody's trying to take over a plane or whatever, you have a weapon. In the event that you need to secure rope later in a crash or whatever, you have a carabiner. And a metal cup, because not only can this be used as a weapon, you could boil water in this. This is a survival thing. It is a good cup. I actually really like this cup. I like the color of it. It's very satisfying.
I like the circumference of it. It's a very good cup width.
The giant pencil grooves do it for me.
A broth cup. I love that.
This is her brothel cup, guys. You did it, babe.
Yay!
In under an hour.
My tummy hurts.
We're going to be recording this next episode, and you're going to cut ass. It's very full. Be careful.
I will.
So now that we're caught up with all that, you've got your last cup of chocolate milk. Let's tie all of this into the importance of, I think I've already done a pretty good job of doing that as we've been recording, but let's tie this into the importance of the creative mind in a child.
Okay.
Go. Because I've done a lot of talking and people.
What the fuck?
Okay. So wait, hold on. Here's some honesty. There was a moment of self-consciousness just now in me because I've seen comments where I talk a lot and you're just along on the podcast, and that I take over conversations and dominate them. And even though we haven't heard that in quite a while, that is still something that is stuck in the back spaces of my brain, and I don't want to do that. We have back and forths, and I feel like I've talked a lot this episode, so. I'm handing over the torch. You get to finish this bitch off.
I love creativity in our children. I'm going to talk about our kids specifically. Their imagination is unmatched. And I love playing with them. I'm going to cry.
Don't do that.
It's happening. Our son plays with hangers.
And boxes.
And straws. And sticks.
Yep.
And now they're really getting to the age where they can build things. Like they recognize they have opposable thumbs and they have strength.
Yeah, Legos are finally becoming a popular toy with them.
Legos are becoming a popular toy. And now we have given them permission to keep empty boxes.
Creating forts.
Right. But they also created a doctor's office and there's a receptionist. One of those boxes has become a desk. And our son had his Bible sitting there and he had this miscellaneous water toy that has like a wheel on it that spins with the water, and he was like, that's my pin holder. And he had like a little piece of paper sitting up front and he wrote his name on it and he was like, and that's my name tag. I was like, you did great, son. Like, this is fantastic. Can the doctor see me? And he was like, you're gonna have to wait 2 hours. And I was like, how realistic?
Yeah. But my appointment was 2 hours ago.
And I don't tell them, well, no, I need to see the doctor now because I need to get back to the kitchen. I mean, there are times where, guys, I can't play right now. I've already started dinner, but if I'm not in the middle of anything, I'm going to sit here and play with you guys for 45 minutes or an hour or 2 hours if Pops is going to be home late from work today. Seeing them thrive in the nourishment that we pour into them and their creativity, building sandcastles at the beach, going outside and, I don't know, they're terrorizers now. They're little velociraptors. All of their games feel like it's centered on my pain.
Before you get too far away from the box thing,
okay,
I need to touch on two things.
Okay.
Really. On the doctor thing, and this is just for everybody, this isn't for us. When you go to the doctor, you want your doctor to give you the undivided attention that you need while getting checked out. Mm-hmm. So if you go to the doctor's office and they're 15 minutes, an hour late, or whatever the case may be, you need to understand that they are giving other people the undivided attention that you are seeking.
Right.
And when you view that, your wait is no longer that big of an inconvenience because you want the doctor to give you the same amount of care and time that they're giving the people before you. Mm-hmm. Maybe that'll give you a little bit of grace. The other thing,
mean me?
People.
Oh, okay.
I was that person for a long fucking time. I would leave. I have an appointment at 12 o'clock. If it's 1 o'clock, I'm not fucking there anymore. When they call my name, I'm fucking gone. And we're like, why'd you leave? Well, my appointment was at noon. It was 12:15. Nobody fucking said shit about how long it was going to be, so I left.
Yeah.
That was my thought process because my time is super fucking important to me. But you know what else is important to me? My health. So if I'm going to the doctor, there's a fucking reason for it. And if I'm rushed out of the doctor's office because he's running behind or she's running behind or whatever the case is, I'm not getting treated. Mm-hmm. Why would I expect them to do that to everyone else just so that I can get my fucking time schedule? Okay. The box thing. Imagine you gave your scenario.
Okay.
You sit down, you play with them 45 minutes. You really cultivate that creative thinking. Mm-hmm. A parent comes home. That box, both boxes are in the living room. There's toys everywhere. The other parent is in the kitchen doing the kitchen thing, whatever. Parent had a bad day. Parent one had a bad day. Opens the door and sees all that shit all over the place. The kids are very excited to see parent one. Mm-hmm. And they're like, oh my God, I'm so fucking glad you're home. And they're trying to tell them about their toys and the boxes. Look at what we did with
the boxes. We decorated.
Right. You're right on time for your appointment. Parent one. Mm-hmm. Parent one had a bad day and goes, clean this fucking mess up. You know better than having your toys in the living room. We've told you about this.
Yeah.
And now that excitement has been destroyed. They no longer look forward to you coming home. Or I'm sorry. They no longer have the excitement that they had about you coming home because you coming home was no longer a enjoyable experience.
It was immediate negativity.
Right. Now they have to worry about tiptoeing around your fucking bullshit for the rest of the day, and all of the creativity that they had been waiting to tell you about didn't even get to leave their mouths.
Yeah.
This is stupid. I'm not allowed to play out here. I'm gonna go put my shit up. Fuck parent one, right? At least parent two might give me a little bit of attention. That lack of attention has nothing to do with creativity. That lack of attention is enough to make people anxious. And when your body will remember, your brain may forget. We have moments on the podcast often where something new will happen. We will get triggered and we will work through it in the moment. And then we'll talk about it after the podcast. Like, hey, that was a new thing. Da 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 da. You don't remember those things because it's a traumatic experience. Why would you want to relive that shit over and over and over again? You just remember the way that the person made you feel. Your body remembers that shit. So when somebody comes through the door a little bit too aggressive and you find yourself like posturing or feeling anxious or the need to get away from them, that is a physiological response to trauma that happened to you at another point in your life that your brain does not remember why. I believe that happens with creativity to a lesser degree. Speaking on the grandma thing earlier, if you have the kid who wants to draw, our daughter's going to be an artist. I truly believe she'll be an artist.
Yeah. I think she's going to be a tattoo artist.
Yeah. I think she's going to pick up photography first.
Yeah. I agree with that. I was actually thinking about getting them cameras for Christmas.
Not
real cameras, but like little.
Let's give them the point and shoots that we bought for vlogging or GoPros.
Okay.
Because you're not breaking a GoPro. It's 5 and 6 years old, unless it's a GoPro. Fuck, throw it in the mud. Who gives a shit? Let's do that.
Okay.
We have enough of them
Yeah.
from our dirt bike bullshit.
I asked them both if they were interested in that, and they said yes.
And you can push.
Right.
They can use their tablet to actually take pictures. We'll figure that out.
I've taken the tablets.
We'll figure that out after the episode.
Okay.
Having that sit down moment where there's love and compassion, and here's how we improve, and you did such a good job, and that caring will make people who are creatively inclined to not feel so self-conscious about actually having the creative output. I was told numerous times that I can't draw. I remember a very specific time. Okay, I'm about to be real vulnerable, and I'm going to try really fucking hard not to get upset.
Okay.
When I was in third grade, I had a friend who he was an immigrant from Vietnam. His parents moved here. He was a firstborn, but he Vietnamese, like full.
Right.
Still has an accent the whole nine.
Yeah.
He drew. He could draw. At third grade, he was much better artist than I was, and he drew something, and I traced it. And I went home and I was like, I drew you something, and I got fucking berated because it was a trace, and it was clear that it wasn't my artwork. This is not how you draw. You didn't draw this. You can't draw. You're not an artist. This isn't your work. And like, I understand that I lied. Right? There was a lie there. I did not draw that. I traced it. I should have come home and said, I traced this for you. At third grade, that's not how your fucking brain works. You're
Right.
excited to give that parent something that you created because you put time into it, even if it is a trace, to show them. Now, should my parent have been like, did you draw it or did you trace it?
Because
Right?
there's a difference.
We could have had a conversation about lying and why it's important to be honest. And now we can talk about shading, whatever, right? Like that was never done. I was fucking berated as a child because of it. So I spent the better part of my life realizing that I needed to find other creative outlets because I can't draw. And I didn't try again until I got incarcerated. And I spent hours upon hours upon hours upon hours with a pencil in my hand drawing while I was incarcerated because it was a passion of mine and it wasn't good. But you know what I learned how to do while I was in there? Portraits. I can fucking sketch a portrait. Most people can't do that. Faces are hard for a lot of people. For me, they're really fucking easy because I got hundreds of hours into faces. I fucking sat with a picture, fucking drawing the picture over and over and over again. And at first they look like Shrek, like the bad cartoon, like crayon drawing of Shrek. And then eventually they actually started to look like something. If I would have allowed that third grade, for instance, to dictate my entire life, I would have never had a creative process. And I chose otherwise. So there's a fuck you in me that led me to becoming a tattoo artist. I knew that I wanted to do this as a career. Third grade me would have never believed in themselves had I not done the work to get to the point where I could actually physically do the shit that I wanted to do. And I could have allowed somebody else's bullshit to destroy my creative mind. And I did.
Right.
It took other things coming about in my life to change that. And I think that that's why that this is so important to me. And it's why I don't give a fuck how bad the kids' art is. They could just scribble on the paper. If you made it for me, you put your time and effort into it. You were thinking about me. Like that's the real I love you behind it. Your pine needles were pine needles I ripped off of a tree. It has nothing to do with the fact that it's pine needles. It was that I was thinking about you in the moment. I went out of my way to do something that I knew that you needed. I filled a void, whatever. Our children, if you curb that, you find adults who can't creatively think of gifts. You find adults who do not ever move ahead in their job. You find adults that are lacking in almost every facet of their life because they're waiting to be told what to do. What do you want for your birthday? I don't know. Well, how about, I know you like chocolates. Let me buy some chocolates, right? You want pine needles, go get them. Why do I need to think about that while I'm out doing my thing, right? Like I truly believe that's what happens in people. I don't like, I've been very, very outspoken about the school system. I truly believe that it's government indoctrination. I don't think that there is anything good that comes from the public school system other than giving the parents the ability to fucking go to school or go to work. It does create the foundations in elementary school, but beyond that, I don't think that there's any real use for school.
I agree.
I think that if we didn't have to have both parents working a full-time job in order to support a family, kids being at home would need 2 to 3 hours of learning a day and they could be kids.
Right.
And we would have more Steve Jobs. We would have more people who are filling needs, more Elon Musks. You look at that Cybertruck and tell me that's not his inner child.
Right. I saw one of those the other day and I was like, oh my gosh.
Cybertruck?
Yeah.
You saw one like out on the road?
Yeah. I
Fucking
saw one. I was
ugly-ass
like,
thing.
is someone fucking with me right now? Is that a real car? Like,
Yeah.
what is happening?
Andrew sent me a video of somebody driving one of those through Midnight Pass during the hurricane.
Really?
An electric vehicle in fucking
Insane.
massive amounts of water. Yeah. I could do this all day long about the creativity and the importance of harboring that. And I think that this, go ahead.
Because I want to add this in before you keep going because I don't want to lose it. Back before public school was a thing and one parent or both parents were relied on for schooling for the children, it either didn't happen or was very minimal and basic. Reading, writing, basic math. With access to technology now, our older children have access to university level knowledge for free. Now, it depends on where your child's discipline is at, right? Because once the kids get past elementary school, I'm thinking like 3rd or 4th grade, I want to pull them out of public school and start doing the homeschool process.
How important do you think the lessons that we're taught in school actually are? Because of what you just said, let me paint a picture.
Okay.
We'll call it 1700s, 1800s, whatever. Family of 6 kids, 2 adults, so a family of 8. Mom is the typical stay-at-home, dad's doing farm shit. You have kids in quantity back then because it helped to create workers.
Right.
13, 14, 15 and up, they were all working on the farm. They still had to do school shit. But if you learn to read, you learn to write, right? Those are the foundation of intelligence in terms of what we need to be able to do things.
Right.
You learn basic mathematics so that you can learn your measurements and your weights and things like that because you need that to survive. The other things that we're taught in school, how valuable do you think that actually is in terms of society?
Not.
Why?
Because I have not looked at algebra since I last touched it in school, whenever that was. Trigonometry, who?
Do you think that's because we have calculators or do you actually think that that's...
I cannot tell you the last time I did anything related to trigonometry.
So advanced mathematics is not relevant to 95% of the people, you think? Okay.
Me, even though having the basic knowledge of marine biology is dope, I help people fix their marriages. Like, I don't need to know how starfish reproduce.
Right. Okay, so what about the kids who want to be marine biologists? The 1 in 30,000 kids that maybe want, I'm making numbers up.
Yeah.
That maybe want to do that. Is it worth adding that to the curriculum for that one student to become a marine biologist one day? Because it's an important job. This is a trick question.
Is it worth it to be added to the curriculum if 1 in 30,000 want to do it?
Mm-hmm.
No.
Okay, why?
Because realistically, like just looking at an average elementary school, I'm thinking 700 to 900 students,
Let's push it to high school.
right? So high school, let's look at 1,300,
Okay.
right? That's not even the 1 in 30,000. That
Right.
one is probably not even there.
There's a high probability that it's not.
Right.
Right.
So I don't see the need to base a 45-minute lesson on something that nobody in that class is going to take away from long term.
Okay, so then this is why I said this is a trick question, because that does need to be in school, but I don't think it needs to be in a public school system. I
Right.
think that's specialized.
I agree.
Right? And if you want to go, okay, we're going to just fucking fix the entire school system on this episode apparently.
Okay.
High school, right? Elementary school should be about socializing. I believe that first should be socialization,
How to be a human.
reading and writing, some basic manners. In
Math.
in a public school, government ran public is the same thing to me.
Yeah.
It's a government ran school system. For the sake of easiness of the conversation, we'll call it public school. Those early stages up to 5th grade should be the very fundamentals of understanding. They should be able to read, sound out words, understand syllables, the whole nine, and basic mathematics. They should know their timetables, right?
Yeah.
Division, fractions, things of that nature. That it should get a little more difficult into middle school, understanding those fundamentals and moving on, and history at that point should start to be taught.
Yeah.
When you get into high school, what you want to do as a career should be a very heavy conversation, and you should be specialized where you want to go if the school has the budget to do that. Marine biologist is a very specific thing. So if somebody wants to be a
Right.
marine biologist, they should be focusing heavy on science. This is all in a perfect world scenario. You guys are going to pick this apart as to why this can't happen. I'm being creative right now as how we fix the problem. So unless you have solutions, don't come at me with negativity. Let's compound on what we're talking about and improve things versus shitting on my theory because there's a loophole.
Right.
Knowing that a child our kids' age can do 3 hours of schooling and get the same thing out of a homeschool for 3 hours that they get out of 8 hours in a government ran school system means that most of the shit that they're being taught in school is filler.
Right.
It's no different than watching your favorite TV show that you wait to come on every fucking Sunday night and sitting down with the person that you love and you guys are really fucking amped for this episode and it has nothing to do with fucking anything. And it's literally just an episode to fill up a gap to make it to the 10 episode thing. That is most of our children's day to day at school.
I think a lot of it is socialization. Like looking back at my school experience.
Back at me. Every time you say that.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry. Looking back at your school experience.
Especially thinking about elementary school, everything PE related was outside with other groups of children. It wasn't just one class, right? Recess is not just one class. It's multiple teachers supervising the children as they just have very loosely structured things to do. Music class was the same thing. Right there, that's 3 hours of filler to meet the quota where it's just children entertaining themselves supervised by adults.
Okay. So that's the socialization aspect that you were just speaking on.
Right.
I agree. I think so. Oh man, I guess that actually changes my thought process a little bit because I didn't even think about PE or music, and I think that the arts is one of the most important things that you'll learn in school, and I actually think that PE is as well, as much as kids fucking hate doing it. Physical education should be, if it's actually physical education and not just doing sports, because there's two differences there. Understanding the way that your body works and how to maintain your body and take care of yourself. Physical education could go into nutrition.
It could, yeah, definitely.
It could go into understanding how to read a fucking label and understanding what macronutrients is. Like there's a whole lot that could be there. What it actually is though, because you said PE and recess. Recess is, lower grade stuff. It becomes
Right.
PE, but that is a way for kids to get that energy out so they can go back and be subservient in school for the other 7 hours or, 7.5 hours, however long their day is. There's also something to be said about kids understanding the winning versus losing and no participation trophies. Because if you divide your classroom up or that period up into two teams and they have to fucking go to war, somebody's leaving fulfilled and the other people are feeling defeated. That defeated is an opportunity for the coach to be like, okay, we lost. Why did we lose? These are what we need to work on to get better. You may not be very slow, but you hit like a dump truck. Or you may not be very fast, but you can hit like a dump truck. So wait, let them run to you and just fucking plow over them, right? Like there's life lessons that can be had in that. So that's super fucking important. I actually think that that's more important than learning a lot of the things that are being taught in school. I
agree.
So, but that also speaks to creative mindset as well, because if you understand the why of things and you can figure out what you're good at, you can find creative ways to win. And when you're losing and you feel like a fucking loser and you feel defeated all the time, you're looking for that leg up. And if you don't have people around you like a coach supporting the things that you're doing, trying to give you, this is how I overcame that obstacle. These are things that I think that you would do really good at. I'm giving you positive affirmations. You're not a piece of shit. You're a great fucking student. That's going to change things a whole lot more than just the fucking kid who gets bullied because there's not enough fucking teachers to pay attention to what's going on in the classroom.
Right.
And that kid goes home and then gets it from the parents. Fucking shit off the table, smacking things over. And now that kid is a fucking shell of a human being who feels like they have no fucking purpose in life. And then we wonder why we have the epidemics that we have. It's a lot. And
It is a lot to think about.
I think a lot of that does come down to, would you say that this entire thing comes to compassion and not creativity? Because this is not a surface level conversation anymore.
I mean, when it comes to parents dealing with their children, I think it comes to a lot more than just compassion. I think a lot of people out there are having children when they're not mentally prepared to have children.
Oh, I agree with that. I fucking agree with that.
Before we get too deep into this, we have 5 minutes before it's noon.
Okay.
And I know you wanted to record something else today.
I do. I actually want to wrap this up.
Okay.
I'm going to touch on that. My question with the compassion thing is because we started with business. That's adulthood. They're young entrepreneurs. I'm not taking away from the exception, not the rule.
Right.
Let's say that all of this does come down to being watered as a child with your creative mindset. Would you say that the basis of creativity is compassion?
Yeah. That makes sense. Somebody having the want and the patience to teach somebody younger than them how to do something. Yeah.
I hope that you guys got some sort of value out of this. This has been all over the place, and I fucking talked a lot. Real quick before we wrap up, because I know that you said that we're running out of time. We were going to read the Gotta Kill Captain Stupid lyrics. So let's do that real quick. I'm not going to read all the filler bullshit because there's a whole lot of like repetitive, it's music.
Right. Bridges and choruses.
Right. He said, "Aw, damn, we got a lot of stupid people doing a lot of stupid things, thinking about stupid thoughts, or thinking a lot of stupid thoughts. And if you want to see one, just look in the mirror." That's how the song starts. So he basically just said that
I'm a stupid thought.
Right. Okay.
Holy shit. Okay.
He says, "Gotta kill Captain Stupid. Can't you see him? Today we start the new way. We're suicidal. Gotta kill the old way. We'll make it better. Won't you join the mission? Don't be stupid. Brothers killing brothers. What's up with that? Can't you see they're laughing? That ain't funny. Babies making babies. That ain't love.
Yeah.
You just got screwed over. Get some respect." Hook, lyrics, whatever. Then he goes on to say, "And I don't understand why people be bringing Captain Stupid into their lives, treating him like a superhero, glorifying him when he ain't nothing but a super punk. And when you you see, you're the one who's going to have to stop him because you're the one who started him. Oh, what's that? So now you say life sucks? Well, 99% of life is what you make of it. So if your life sucks, you suck." That's also a very pivotal quote for my life.
If 90% of your life sucks, what?
99% of your life. So now you're saying life sucks. Well, 99% of life is what you make of it. So if your life sucks, you suck. That's in the song.
Damn, that's good. Like,
I love this man.
yeah, roasting people.
He then goes on to say, "What's that crap you're smoking, playing the fool, wasting your life for nothing when you're something? What the hell you thinking? Mind pollution, got to get back control. It's your life, fool." Lyrics. And then he goes on to say, "What's that now? So you're scared to do something about it? Well, you better be scared not to do something about it, because if you don't kill Captain Stupid is going to kill you." I was wrong about the lyric of the song that it came from because it wasn't this. It's not in here.
Gotcha.
But this is the 99% thing was one of the ones that was a very prevalent thing in my music tastes.
That's crazy.
Now I don't remember what the actual quote was that I said.
Oh, I don't know.
Just because you don't like it doesn't mean it isn't no good. Now I have to find the actual proper song. "You can't bring me down." is the song.
You can't bring me
Yep.
down.
I'm not going to pull those lyrics up, but for those, she can cut that little gap. So that song was actually You Can't Bring Me Down. Also one of my favorite songs. Starts off very, very like slow intro and then gets very heavy, very quick. With that being said, guys, remember you are the author of your own life.
So grab a pen.
And we'll see you on the next one.
Bye, guys.